research methods. Hello and welcome to the Research Methods podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Eugene Bogodistov. Hello and welcome to the next episode in my mini-series on measuring how people think, measuring mental models, or causal mapping. And in the previous episode, we talked about the technical part of the issue, how to collect data, how to transpond them, and how to calculate them. I made only the overview to you understand the logic behind, because if you know it, you can simply apply the formula from the paper, or you can find our plugin and you can download it, you can install it, or you don't even have to install it, just the Excel sheet where you have to import the data that you have and make the calculation. In this episode, I'm going to tell you what you can do with this methodology, because it is a bit different. It's not that you find the simple way to analyze A impacting B. It will be different. You will have the relationships between all the people. It's like a huge correlation table where you have, if you have 250 people, then you have 250 people as rows and 250 people as a column. And you have a number in each of the cells, because the person 1 has a certain distance from person 2 and how they think, and person 1 has difference from person 3. And it goes up to the person 250 from the person 249. Having this data, there are many things that you can do. I'm going to talk about two most important things that we liked. The first thing, you can cluster them. You can see whom of these people are closely related, who have the small distance from each other. So it can happen, theoretically can plotted as a kind of not a mind map, as a neural network where people are building knots and being located close to each other. And this method is very close to clustering. You just see how the clusters of people work and who are, let's say, the similar minders, those who think in the same way about the concept you're investigating, for example, about the corporate culture or about the emotional climate. And then you can prescribe them a value for this cluster. So you have the cluster number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you can use this value as a predictor or as an dependent variable for something you want to investigate. For instance, in how much do emotions felt that you manipulated before have impact on how people think about something. If somebody is angry, do they still think that emotional climate is mainly related to disassociation of these terms? Or maybe they think differently if they're like in bad mood or in good mood. They see the organization differently. Would be a great way, by the way, good idea for investigation. Contact me if you want to investigate it. I would be interested in this topic. Or you can use this cluster as independent variable and see whether people who are like-minded people, whether they also have the same, for example, behavior, whether they all tend to act in a certain way. Maybe they want all to leave the organization, or they all want to stay in the organization. So this could be also an interesting stuff, where maybe they are those who are causing conflicts, or maybe they are those who are resolving conflicts. So this is one of the ways what you can do with these questions. The second thing actually could work even without restructuring is you have the relationship between different values, and theoretically, if you know how friendship is related to trust, you can investigate whether those who see the friendship as having positive impact on trust act the same as people who see friendship as having negative relationship on trust. In this event, you will have to lose some data because not everybody included these values into the system, but theoretically you can investigate the simplest elements from your mental model, like two concepts, and those who picked these two concepts and related them to each other. You may find that each of this relationship has a kind of impact on your dependent variable, or this relationship can be a dependent variable, and you can have an antecedent that would explain that people who are stressed, they automatically relate friendship in a negative way with trust. This could be also one of the things what you can investigate. We ran in our paper an exhaust clustering where we imported different values as predictors for clusters, and in this analysis we looked at what is a good predictor of certain relationship within our network. And remember, we talked about the values that are associated with, I think it was with a businessman. I'm not sure, but it was a while ago. And of course, we're interested whether the region has impact, just because if people come from Islamic countries, whether the certain values that are in our list, we didn't say these are Islamic values, but we knew they come from the Islamic value questionnaire, whether they would be also more preferred than the others. And actually, we didn't find anything. We didn't find the relationship. I think with only one value, we had something like statistically weak relationship that could indicate that the Islamic people differed with regard to one value from other people from other countries. And these were many, from Argentina to Bulgaria and Germany. So we had it was a very interesting sample, not too many people from each country, but still we found a way to, through snowball sampling, to incorporate many countries with several participants from them. In this way, with this analysis, you can also explain what are the best predictors that people group together. So maybe there are some demographical values that explain why some people see the organizational climate in a certain way. Maybe those who come from rich families, or those who have the higher earnings, or those who are of a certain gender, or maybe those who are of a certain age, they form a certain cluster in how to see your organization, your emotional climate, or your corporate culture, and so on. This is also one of the things that you can do with this method. What we also did, we depicted the differences between the countries, and we took the values from I think it was based on Hofstede differences between the countries, but actually they looked at the countries at all, and we looked at these several individuals who built certain clusters. And we have shown that actually it goes in very close in the same direction. That's why we can say that our method holds and replicated the important framework that worked. But our framework was a bit better, it was more precise. For example, we noticed that in Argentina we had two big clusters. They had, I think, about 20 or maybe 30 participants, so not so many, but even within those we had two different clusters. And I think if you make the same study in Innsbruck city and Innsbruck land, so it's the region Innsbruck, like all the villages around, you will see the huge difference in how people think about certain concepts, in how people think about agriculture, or how they think about the wolves, whether we need the return of wolves to their role or not, or how they think about building new houses, how they think about working opportunities, and so on. This would be a very interesting way to investigate it and see what are the good predictors and how people form these clusters, what are the like-minded people. And it can happen that you will discover something new as we didn't know or didn't expect that Argentina will build this too, or will land in two different clusters. I hope it was interesting, and I hope you know now what you can do with this method, and I'll see you in the next episode. Enjoy, try it out, and write in the comments section what you think about the method and whether you succeeded. Bye bye.